And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all tapping in with us on this lovely edition on the Doing All Right. Brian, let me tell you what I love about this vest.
Yeah.
I'm a content creator. Let me get my Don DeMarco button ready. I'm a content creator that works from home.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever I was wearing previous to hit and go,
yeah.
throw the vest on.
Yeah.
And it works. It works. I ain't got to put together an elaborate outfit. Whatever the hell I was wearing, throw the vest on, hit go. I've turned into a vest guy, Bryan Broaddus. So hopefully by the end of the football season, we'll have some available for the people, you know?
No, I hope so. And I know a lot of people like it. But yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. It's cold in this building we're about to work in. I keep my vest on the door, and when I walk in, I'm like Mr. Rogers. Remember, like Mr. Rogers used to come in? I come in, put on my shoes, and put on my vest, and I started watching Philadelphia Eagle tape this morning. So
we are neighbors.
We are
neighbors, Bryan Broaddus.
We are neighbors.
Man, boy, Bryan Broaddus, I tell you what, man.
Yeah.
I got a new job with Crown Globe Media. That's cool.
Yeah, you sure do.
That's all right, bro. I didn't get cut from Crown Globe is what I'm saying.
You did not get cut.
Boy, some of our lovable Cowboy brothers and sisters, they hurting right now, Bryan Broaddus, because one of their fan favorites, and Brian, we do this, and look, when I say we, I mean them, not necessarily me and you. They do this every year with a wide receiver camp character.
Oh yeah, Holden.
You add him. You ever seen that meme about the Browns quarterback list? There's a dude with a Browns jersey,
with
and he keeps crossing names out. Brian, we should get a Cowboys wide receiver training camp jersey and put Andy Jones on and T.J. Vasher and all these names that we just that are legends in Cowboys training camp, Brian.
Yeah.
That don't mean Traeshon Holden doesn't make the practice squad.
Right.
But it does mean that he didn't do enough to crack the initial 5. And Bryan Broaddus, I must say, I'm quite happy about that. I'm quite happy about that. Because if Traeshon Holden makes your wide receiver roster your first 5, I mean, your first 5 probably wasn't all that great, Bryan Broaddus. This is how I look at it. Brian, I keep going back to this George Pickens thing and how impactful it was. But think about your roster last year. Flournoy and Jalen Brooks both made your roster last year, okay?
Right.
And it was Tolbert and Turpin, and it was Lamb. Like, that was your 5.
Yeah.
What Pickens allows you to do now is it makes these guys have to come in there and fight for their life, and the best guy wins. Mingo got hurt, and that shook up some more stuff, Bryan Broaddus. Mingo being hurt. But assuming Mingo is healthy, that'll be another name off the list that you just kind of bump off this thing. It's unfortunate for them. And like I said, the Cowboys are probably looking to bring him back practice squad. Or even better, some other team will give him real money to play on their roster, right? Something's going to happen with Traeshon Holden. At some point, fans don't have to fret if they're just fans of him as a player. But if Traeshon Holden is one of your best 5 receivers, Bryan Broaddus, I think you got a problem. Tolbert beat him out fair and square. Turpin's a big part of this thing. I think they have a huge section of the playbook dedicated just to him. And I think Flournoy showed you more on a consistent basis, on a day in, day out, game-by-game basis, that Flournoy was just a little bit better than Holden, Bryan Broaddus. And it really probably came down to, like, Brooks and them. And Brooks is probably another player that's on that fence that the Cowboys are having to talk about, Brian. But I'm glad that the best 5 guys won, because I'm not here for, like, consolation prizes at this point. Shouts out to Traeshon Holden. It just wasn't room for him. But go ahead.
Let me ask you this. If Mingo does not get injured and he's in the mix, now pick your 5.
Damn, Bryan Broaddus. I think that's where it gets real
Damn
interesting.
Right, Bryan Broaddus. Damn right, Bryan Broaddus.
Good question, Brian.
Damn right. You're damn right, Bryan Broaddus.
I think that's where it gets interesting, because now I think there's treachery on Jalen Tolbert's front.
Ooh.
I think Flournoy's combination of youth, upside, growth shown so far, and his projection in 2 or 3 years. I think Flournoy was going to be here anyway, Brian, bro. I think no matter what happened, I think Flournoy was going to be a Cowboy anyway, and I think the conversation came down to Jalen Tolbert and his veteranness. Jalen Tolbert may be the better receiver right now, but veteran stuff makes a difference. And where the young guy projects in 3 years. Like, that's the verses that you're working with. So Tolbert and Flournoy, we talked about this with Mazi all the time. Tolbert and Flournoy, in the eyes of the Cowboys, I don't know. Tolbert might be a little better. But where's Flournoy in 3 years? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I thought Flournoy was going to be here regardless. And if Mingo is here, then Mingo gives you the veteran dude that's competing with Tolbert. I think Tolbert may have possibly been out of here. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting that you look at it that way, because I was kind of thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I was not thinking Flournoy and Mingo redundancy, which, by the way, I give you full credit for redundancy. And now people in circles I talk when we talk about redundancy.
All
And
right. That's the
Voch
plan.
Lombardi, congratulations, you're the proud father of redundancy. The thing that I I really do believe if Mingo was healthy, that it would be Mingo, Flournoy, and you're right. I think Tolbert would have been. I think Tolbert would have been in some trouble. I really do. But it worked out the way that it did. Tolbert, he wasn't as consistent as Flournoy, but I'll say this though, and I kind of look at it, was Mingo.
Mm.
Was it Flournoy to me, Voch, the first week of camp? I don't think if you asked me the first 4 or 5 practices that I watched, I wouldn't have thought that Flournoy was going to make the team.
Sure.
And then it started at the Rams game, and he showed up, and from that point on, he was one of the most consistent players. I'll tell you this. I think the Brooks was more consistent than Tolbert.
Mm.
I wonder how many players we have on this roster that are general manager said, "Nah, we're not gonna move on from." I know Mazi's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I know Mazi's one of the where the general manager said, "No, we're not moving on." I wonder if Tolbert's one of those guys now too.
Mm.
That there were others that had better practices.
Yeah.
And this is not to slam Tolbert, but his biggest issue is consistency. And it's consistency from day to day to day. And he does not always stack good days together. But super ton. I was watching today watching the Philadelphia Dallas game last year. I think it was week 11. And they send him inside to get a block and kind of half mans it, and I'm thinking,
Mm.
all right, note to self, don't ask him to do that ever again.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so I like what you did, because I think that Tolbert was, if as just you and I talking here, and they obviously don't care what you and I think,
Sure.
but I would think that Tolbert would the guy that I would fight. Like, listen, if I was in personnel, I would say, give me Flournoy,
Mm-hmm.
give me Mingo, hell, give me Brooks.
Yeah.
And I would have said I'm willing to move on from Tolbert, but I think there's some players on this roster where the general manager's like, no, we're keeping this guy. We're going to keep this guy.
Bryan, in the modern salary cap era,
Mhm.
if you're talking about player versus player, how impactful when they're having conversations like that, right? How impactful is years left on contract?
Yeah,
Because Mingo's a guy that got 2 years left.
he
Flournoy
does.
got about 3 years left. Lamb gonna
Yeah,
be here. Pickens is a star. We ain't worried about that. Turpin just re-signed and got extended. He got
yeah,
another 2 to 3. You know what I'm saying? Tolbert is a 1 year player for you, Bryan Broaddus.
right.
So what's that impact have to do with it, you think?
You know, I think this goes all the way back to when he was drafted. I think there's still that, there's still that love for him as at South Alabama, and there's still that hope that, oh wow, he's going to put it all together. And he led your team in touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
There's times he played really, really well. I think they're still holding on hope that it's going to all come together for him for 17 weeks. And they don't want to move on from that. The contract, I don't think, you know, maybe they're feeling like that, oh, he's in a contract year, he's going to have a great year. The carrot is out in front of him and he's going to have this great year. I just kind of feel like he is who he is.
Yeah.
He's very capable,
Yeah.
very talented, very inconsistent. Yeah, and I don't think they see it like you and I see it. That because I think there's other like I think there's others that outplayed him at camp.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the personnel department's holding on to this one because of what he did several years ago at South Alabama and all the like they were thinking about. It's so funny, you talk about players that 1-year contracts. Greg Ellis stopped by the studio today,
Mm.
and former Cowboy edge, former coach. Uh, Greg stopped by and he was talking about Sam Williams, and he was talking about how much he really, really liked Sam Williams. And I was asking him about, well, what do you think? And he's like, well, he's got one more year. He's got that one more year, and you're like, so maybe that's the hope that Jerry always likes it when the carrot's out in front of the guy. When it's like, hey, let's see you play for a contract. That's what, so maybe there's a couple of guys like Tolbert and Sam Williams that they're kind of keeping around, dangling the carrot and hope it turns into the player that they picked in the second round and third round in the very same draft.
Did you record the conversation with them 8K ass cameras you got? Them expensive 8K cameras you got?
Oh, Greg's coming back. Greg walked in and he's like, my God, told him all about you. He likes
Yeah.
your 86-inch screen that you're going to be breaking stuff down on. He's like, oh, this is cool. He did, he did tell me,
Mm.
he goes, where's the Greg Ellis picture on the wall, Brian?
Mm.
So now I have to go grab a Greg Ellis picture, and I'm okay with that. Greg's one of my good guys, good friends. So glad for him to come over, and that's the kind of thing. Probably what we're going to be able to do is, former players and stuff stop by, coaches and stuff, and have that kind of content for you guys.
Greg, what you think happened on this play? And Greg just
He can coach him up. I mean, he'll give you. He's pretty interesting when he starts to talk about. He is and I hope it's not government secrets or anything like that. But I was asking about Mazi Smith.
mm.
I was because they coached Mazi Smith last year,
Mm-hmm.
and he says, to be honest with you, Mazi's just not the right fit for how they're going to play this scheme. He's just not. And I said, well, how did you guys get him playing better? And he says, well, he's kind of a two gap guy. Don't expect him to be an up the field player. The minute you play him as an up the field guy, he's that's not his. That's not how he goes. Mazi is extremely strong, but you got to play him in a position where he can use his strength. You can't ask him to, and I said, so he's like kind of a two gap guy, inside, outside. He goes, that's the best type of scheme to play him in is a two gap scheme. And I go, well, then he's kind of a fish out of water in this one, right? He goes, I would think so. So here goes the once again general manager looking at his, maybe Mazi maybe he can see it through. Maybe, I don't know. But Greg was very complimentary of Sam, and he was complimentary of Mazi. But he says Mazi's playing in a position or playing in a scheme that just really doesn't fit his strength.
One more point on that wide receiver conversation we was having, Bryan Broaddus,
Yeah.
because I do think
Sorry, I took
no
a
hell no, you
took
good.
took a left.
Hell no, that was like 6 minutes. Cool, Brian. Jonathan Mingo is on the IR designated to return.
You could do two guys this way. Two guys, just for people understand the rules. Two guys, and you don't. It used to be if you put a guy on injured reserve, you had to put him on the roster for return. Now they let you designate two guys. But please go ahead, sir.
That means he comes back after about 4 weeks minimum, but they
4 weeks.
But they can kind of hold on to him until they ready to
Right.
put him back.
Right.
how does that affect the wide receiver lineup? Does Mingo stay on
That's
IR until somebody gets hurt? Does he come back immediately and that then pushes somebody off? How do you think Mingo being on the designated to return IR, how do you think that affects the wide receiver room moving forward, Brian?
The question I have is, what if all of a sudden you get Ryan Flanoy is playing at a very high level as a big-bodied special teams guy, being physical, going, throwing his body around, making blocks, helping in the running game, occasional 1 or 2 catches a game on making some tough plays, but maybe make a tackle or 2 on a punt team. It's hard. That would be very, very hard. And then maybe you revisit the Tolbert conversation then. How productive is Tolbert going to be? Is Tolbert going to do all those things I just described of Ryan Flournoy? No, he's not. Is he capable of making plays for you? He's absolutely capable. But is he going to be consistent doing it? And this is where we might have in 4 weeks a revision of what receivers are helping you win games. Lamb, Pickens, Turpin. Okay, who are the others? Flournoy. They put him in there. He's helping with he's helping with the dirty work stuff. Sure. That's kind of where this thing is going to be. And going forward. And maybe that's where Tolbert, if I wonder if there's going to be a day, Voch, where all of a sudden it's like we're dressing 4 receivers and Tolbert's not dressing. Because he doesn't do, when you start to talk about the top 3, they do a ton. And now you put Flournoy in the game and he's stunt man. He's doing all the dirty work and, playing special teams. He's making up on special teams because, Lamb and Pickens aren't playing special teams, but he gives you a big body guy. So this could be a very daunting task for Mingo coming back, but it also could make us revisit is Tolbert doing everything necessary to keep his roster spot?
While we was up here talking, Bryan Broaddus, Deuce Vaughn got waived from the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, he did.
So William Sanders, Blue Lipke is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll just keep on breaking that.
Moffa, by the way, it's not the same shoulder that he hurt. They had the labrum problem in college.
Sure.
It's a different one, and he hurt it Friday in the game. So that's why he went on the injured reserve. I know you and I were kind of hinting around yesterday. Even on the Cowboys break, we were talking about a shoulder. I'd heard some whispers about that, so it proved true.
People were asking, Brian, is that like a real shoulder, or is that like the Nate Thomas ankle, or is that
real shoulder? Real shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah, real shoulder.
They were just looking for a reason to just hold on to old Moffa.
Yeah, it's he legitimately needs some time, is what I was told.
Also on the designated to return, Bryan Broaddus, is Peyton Turner. And I didn't think Peyton Turner was going to be a part of this thing at all. But apparently the Cowboys liked him enough to do some gymnastics to hold on to him. I didn't know his ribs got hurt, bro. Now, Brian, is Peyton Turner ribs hurt? Like Nate Thomas' ankle was hurting, or like somebody else got to hang there?
I think this is legit. I think this is a legit one. I did not hear. Matter of fact, I had him on the roster.
Okay.
So he's going to be one of the 53. There were several medical guys that I had questions about. And there's a couple of guys that I just didn't know if they were going to keep him or not. Is Harris the linebacker on a list? Have you seen anything? And by the way, I think there's a possibility I might have this before. I'm sorry that our show is. I was hoping to have it before the show to be able to kind of walk people through this.
Oh, good.
I wonder about. There's 2 guys I wonder about. I wonder about Harris, and let me ask you about this guy because this is one of your areas
Brian,
of expertise.
please, Brian, real fast, some breaking news just a minute ago. Asim Richards just got traded to the Saints.
Okay. You know who I was going to ask you about? Asim Richards.
He just got traded to the Saints, Brian Broaddus. We don't have a conversation yet. Adam Schefter 60 seconds ago. So damn. And we talked about this because Okay, please go ahead, sing it. Tech. We talked about this with Asim Richards, Brian. Like when they start to put you in different places, you kind of don't have a job. You know,
Yeah.
it seems like Nate Thomas won that job early. They put Nate Thomas at left tackle, and they kept Nate Thomas at left tackle, and they moved forward as if Nate Thomas was a guy that was going to be like standing that spot, and they continued to develop him there and work with him there.
Yeah.
But Austin was playing tackle. Austin was playing guard on both sides. I even saw this pregame report that Austin was taking snaps at center, and throughout camp, Austin Richards was.
That's
the
what I was going
guy.
to swear to you when you broke that. I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
There were two players. I had Harris and Richards, and I
Yeah.
was wondering, since you're the offensive line expert,
You did team
I
me
was
up for that.
wondering, that I had him on that list of mine here on my. I kind of wrote down all my guys here on my pad,
Yeah.
and I had Asim Richards in that quotation marks. I'm going to try and see what we can, if we can find out what we got for Asim Richards.
Asim Richards just got back with Kellen Moore there, so there you go.
Yeah.
Also, Brian Jalen Brooks has been waived, so there you go.
Yeah. We thought that was going to happen.
So,
and I'll tell you one thing. If you watch the tape, and seen all the practices that we watched,
yeah,
okay, so what I'm hearing is it looks like a sixth kick and a kickback 7. Let's see. So a 6 kickback and a 7. Okay. So what they did was Dallas got a 6 from the Saints, and they kicked back a 7. So the Saints got Asim Richards, kickback 7. Dallas got the Saints 6. Okay. Let's think about this real quick, by the way.
please.
Saints could be a team that could have the number 1 overall pick in this draft. That could be a late 5 right there.
Sure.
Is what that could be.
Yeah.
That could be a late 5.
Spencer Rattler starting for them, Brian, bro. So yeah, they probably gonna be terrible. Yeah, for sure.
This could be a team that's this could be a team, man, that could be bad.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're getting back a 5, a potential, because that could be that could be this a top of the 6th round, but that could be almost like a late 5, depending if you have some guys on the board.
Yeah. All right, Brian Broaddus. Is it okay to tweet out that we getting the 6 back for the Asim and the 7? All right, cool, Brian. This happened. And look, Brian, I still got Fairweather written down on my list, just to let you know how fast content happens here, Brian Broaddus. But so it's looking like Nate Thomas is as locked in as it gets. And there's still gonna be questions about right tackle. Terrence is your first guy. Then you have Hakeem Adeniji and Cornelius. Yeah. So do they keep both those guys, Brian? Is that going to be a conversation that we're going to be having?
I've got Adeniji on this team right now as we speak.
Okay.
So, and who was the other one you asked me? Sorry, I was typing out.
Hakeem Adeniji and Cornelius, Johnny Cornelius.
I have Cornelius on the team. So I think they really, really, really like him. Yeah, I think that's a good possibility right there. So, but that's good deal. I'm sorry, I've got a lot of things going on here.
But
yeah, I like this is kind of fun. I think they really, really do like Cornelius a lot.
Yeah,
and he showed up for him pretty well. They let's be honest. Asim Richards was a guy that. Asim Richards was a guy that that was not drafted by this current regime. Well, this current coaching staff and all that, and Cornelius is, and that carries a lot of weight. Keep the guys you want to keep, work with the guys you want to work with, and good for Asim Richards. He's probably going to get a good opportunity with the Saints. But anyway, did you tweet that out? Because I want to retweet it.
Yes, sir, I did. Yes, sir, I did. It's out. It's out on the Bible.
All right.
Hey, Brian, hey, I tell you what, man, news happen fast, man. And it seems like the news is coming out quick now, like it's happening, like it's all happening. Tommy King Basote and your safety Mike Smith from Kentucky, those guys were also waived as well, Brian Broaddus.
I liked what Mike Smith was able to do, by the way. Yeah. I really did. Hang on here. I'm making sure I retweet your stuffs because it saves me from having to do it.
I appreciate you, Brian. No problem.
It'd be nice if I could spell your first name over this. This is terrible. Oh, there's Voch Lombardi right there. How about that? There he is. There he is.
Per Doing All Right podcast, Bryan Broaddus?
Per doing all right. Per doing all right.
man.
I see here you're pinned about obnoxious Cowboy fans. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm leaving it
okay. Here we go.
there.
Watch this. That's a retweet right there.
Shouts out to Bryan Broaddus.
I just locked that thing in. Lock that thing in.
Shouts out to Bryan. Moving fast. One last thing, Bryan Broaddus, we can get out of here and figure.
I gotta do radio.
Yeah, I gotta go back and do.
You gotta go eat lunch. What are you talking about? You gotta go eat lunch.
I gotta eat some lunch and do a live stream when all this come out. But
okay.
Fair weather. Just another piece of the.
I have him off. Was he already off?
He got cut. He got cut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he got waived.
Yeah.
So just another
Waves
piece
good
to the tight end puzzle, Bryan Broaddus. And you've been interested in this tight end puzzle. And just a name that I was really interested in, and Derek asked us about it yesterday, was Princeton Fant. Princeton Fant the last couple years was the guy that got cut real early.
Yeah.
Princeton Fant was in that first wave of cuts, but now he's around after numerous tight end cuts, Bryan Broaddus. Does it seem like Princeton Fant is going to be your fourth tight end?
I think they're trying to kind of do some roster gymnastics right now. I think that I initially heard yesterday that it was the three. It was Ferguson, Spanford, Scooney, and then with Hunter Lipke being the possible that guy. Yeah. So that's kind of what I heard. But I think they're trying to work on some things right now with him. I don't know if they're trying to move him or they're trying to move somebody else to maybe get him on board. I haven't, and I'm sorry, folks. I'm not trying to ride the fence. You know me. I hate riding the fence. But I'd heard that he initially was not part of the group. Maybe some things have changed this morning. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
We will see.
We'll just keep eyes on that, Bryan Broaddus. I'm gonna let you get ready for radio. I'm gonna get ready for this live stream, and more news is gonna be coming. For everybody watching this right now, I'll be going live later. Bryan gonna be on radio. We just gonna be talking about this all day. So to get your news, be sure to tap in with me. Tap in with Bryan on 105.3 The Fan. Krusty Corner at 3:40.
3:40 today. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Yeah.
3:40 today. Be sure to tap in. And then we'll be right back to talk about this thing tomorrow. So, Bryan, we're going to be doing mock shows for Crown Global this weekend. Is that going to be live or that's just going to be for us? What we doing? How we going?
That's going to be for us, man.
Well, y'all ain't going to see that unless y'all pay for it later down the line or something. Maybe we'll save that.
Yeah, please. We're happy if you're a sponsor interested in working with a couple of guys that've got this huge studio with really some lights, and cameras, and we got a television production here. So if you're one of these folks that are so inclined to grow with one of the best podcasts in America when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys and the NFL draft. By the way, I'm excited about the NFL draft stuff too.
Oh yeah,
and hopefully it won't be sooner than later. We might be starting talking draft in October
Hopefully we win some games and we won't talk about it until like February. Or
exactly.
I mean, hopefully.
But anyway, hey, nice job breaking the story on Asim Richards. Good for you.
Hey man, I couldn't have done it without my trusty source.
You and I, man, we're a team. We're a team for a reason. We're a team.
Hey, we love y'all to pieces. We'll catch y'all next time. VOCHLOMBARDIBRYN Broaddus. We'll catch y'all next time. All right, Crown.